Hello, welcome to the Insights and Motivation YouTube podcast. Yes, this is an AI-generated content, but remember, there was a human at the beginning of it, creating and curating this material with care and purpose. I request you, dear listener, to step aside from any bias and listen to the message itself. Take the message, not the messenger. That is the key. The same is true for the rest of the playlists and podcasts on this channel, each designed to inspire thought, dialogue, and transformation. Now let me begin the podcast. Democracy in universities and colleges, transparency and truthfulness. Democracy cannot survive in secrecy, and universities and colleges are no different. At this stage of life, young adults are not only expanding their intellectual capacities, but also sharpening their moral compass. They crave authenticity. A truly democratic campus is one where grading systems, disciplinary actions, and administrative decisions are conducted with transparency and truthfulness. When students know the why behind the rules, their trust deepens and their engagement grows. Why is transparency so necessary in higher education? Because ambiguity breeds anxiety and suspicion. When students don't know how grades are calculated, why policies change, or what procedures guide disciplinary action, they feel powerless. This lack of clarity fuels rumors, resentment, and disengagement. But when processes are open, students understand that fairness, not favoritism, governs decisions. Trust is built, and trust is the glue that holds any academic community together. The advantages of transparency are immense. Clear grading rubrics ensure that students know what excellence looks like and how to strive toward it. Open communication about disciplinary processes assures them that justice is applied consistently, not arbitrarily. Administrative transparency, whether about tuition hikes, curriculum reforms, or campus investments, models integrity at the institutional level. Students not only benefit academically, but also internalize the principle that truthfulness is the foundation of credibility. Sadly, many universities fall short in this area. Decisions are often made behind closed doors, communicated vaguely, or after the fact. Students receive grades without explanation or feedback. Disciplinary actions may seem inconsistent, creating the impression of bias. Policy shifts on tuition, curriculum, or housing are rolled out without consultation, leaving students feeling excluded from processes that directly shape their lives. This lack of transparency erodes trust and creates an adversarial relationship between students and institutions. The consequences of ignoring transparency ripple beyond the campus. Students who grow up in opaque systems often carry cynicism into adulthood. They distrust leaders, question institutions, and disengage from civic life. Some may rebel against authority altogether, while others retreat into apathy. Either way, democracy suffers because its lifeblood, openness, and trust was never modeled in their formative years. But when universities embrace transparency and truthfulness, transformation follows. Students begin to see their institution as a partner, not an adversary. They may not always agree with every decision, but they respect the process when it is explained clearly and conducted fairly. Faculty who openly admit mistakes or correct grading errors model humility and integrity. Administrators who explain the rationale behind policy shifts build legitimacy even in times of challenge. Transparency also nurtures responsibility. When processes are open, students can no longer hide behind ignorance. They know what is expected of them and are accountable to those standards. At the same time, institutions are held accountable to their commitments. This shared responsibility creates a healthier, more balanced campus culture where truth is not feared but embraced. If universities continue to operate without transparency, they risk producing graduates who are academically skilled but distrustful of authority, skeptical of fairness, and reluctant to participate in collective systems. But if they practice openness, they will graduate young adults who value accountability, who understand the role of truth in leadership, and who carry forward the habit of demanding fairness in all institutions. The university, then, must be a laboratory of transparency. Every grading rubric, every disciplinary process, every administrative announcement is more than a procedural detail. It is a moral lesson in trust, fairness, and truth. By embedding transparency and truthfulness into the culture of higher education, we do not just inform students about democracy, we let them live its principles in real time. Did this podcast resonate with you? Are you an educator or a higher authority with the ability to influence educational policy and reform? If so, I encourage you to share this podcast as widely as possible within your connections, and do share and subscribe to this channel. This channel has lots of playlists and educational, psychological content with a focus on how to improve all systems of education, corporate culture, and many such topics. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for our next podcast.